Hey there, fellow nostalgia buffs. Welcome back. David Eon and the stunning Miss Lady Pop Hunter here with another fading nostalgia discussion. Or, if you will, whatever happened to. Whatever happened to. Because as we get older, it seems like to me, there's less and less new things to be nostalgic about for the coming generations. And it feels like all the stuff that we grew up with that were cultural phenomenons, they just faded away. They became franchises or were forgotten. And what's new? What's really out there anymore? And, as an adult, you want to go back. You want to go back and grab onto these things. And the topic of today's discussion is kid-friendly restaurants. Remember when you were a kid and it was a treat to go to a restaurant?
Yeah.
And is it anymore? Is it anymore? Are they really kid-friendly? I mean, you might can go to, I don't know, what, Applebee's or something, and if you've got a kid, they give you a piece of paper and like the little pack of the four tiny crayons
They
to
still do
occupy
that?
them. Yeah,
Yeah.
to occupy them, and there's a kid's meal option. Mm-hmm. It's not the same. It's
Yeah,
not
because
the
they
same.
used to have like a kids menu
Mm-hmm.
and it was an activity sheet. So you had the front and the back or
Mm-hmm.
sometime almost a little booklet and you can do the puzzles. They had like crossword, coloring, connect the dots, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But now kids are occupied by their phones. So I guess a lot of restaurants may have gotten away from that.
I don't want to be bothered with it, but it seems to me like not only was it kid friendly or kid oriented, but it was completely kid oriented because the characterization associated with it had a theme that was connected directly to the restaurant. Like we all remember how McDonald's used to look a few decades ago.
Yeah.
When you walked in there and the stools were shaped like hamburgers, and there was art on the walls of their characters, and they sold Ronald and Friends related merchandise in the store. Maybe you could buy plates there. You could get all sorts of things. They had high chairs in there. I don't even see high chairs in McDonald's anymore. The last time we were there, did you notice high chairs?
I don't ever
I don't
look
think
for
they
none.
do. I don't think they have that anymore. But the high chairs were like McDonald Land themed. They had a lot of the places had that gigantic foam rubber tree in there with the face on it. I forget the name of the tree.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff like that. The the McDonald playgrounds. That
That
was
was
a
outside,
Yeah, that was a big thing.
not indoor.
Yeah, and a lot of those indoor ballparks or like little play gyms are going away. Some time ago, McDonald's got the idea that they wanted to compete with Starbucks, and they started the McCafe, and they started putting copper up, and they tore all the kid stuff out of the restaurants, and never went back to it. And they've gone through a few transformations since then, and now they look like a subway terminal. It's it's so uninviting. It's like, get your food and get out. They don't want you hanging
They
around
don't
anymore.
even have a lot of seating anymore.
No.
You used to have a lot of seating in McDonald's and Burger King and places like that. Now they don't have a lot of seating, and they got the McCafe radio that plays. They took the TVs out because they
Yeah.
used to have TVs. Well,
Yeah, a lot of
you
them did.
played the news, but still they had TVs.
Yeah.
They took those out. And the Happy Meals aren't what they used to be. Now it comes in a bag. It doesn't come in a collectible box
Yeah, it
anymore.
had a box and a theme toy to go with it, and
Yeah. In the
McDonald Land,
glasses.
McDonald Land cookies. Who remembers the cookies in
Oh
the
yeah,
little
now
bag?
they sell chocolate chip
Yeah, they
cookies.
got a little like a little display up front, and it's got like muffins and stuff in it, trying to look
Yeah.
again like Starbucks.
But everybody
And
does that because even KFC has those cookies.
yeah, that's the thing now. It's
Yeah.
like kids. Psh, and KFC did too. People may not remember, but I've got the Child Guidance KFC playset from the 70s.
Yeah.
There was a McDonald's playset. That was a thing.
Pizza Hut.
Yeah, Pizza Hut was very child oriented. Pizza Hut used to be an eat-in restaurant, guys, and they used to have an afternoon buffet like every day.
Yeah.
The buffet that was great. Who doesn't? What little kid doesn't want to go to a pizza buffet? But they've done away with all of that.
Yeah, because I remember when I was in the Army, it was a Pizza Hut, and we would go for lunch because they had the
Hmm.
lunch buffet. They did
Yeah,
the lunch at 11:30, and they would open up the buffet. Man, you could sit there and get your pizza all you can eat,
that's a
and it
great
was
thing.
cheap.
That's a great thing
It
for a
was
little
real
kid.
cheap.
I mean, Little not Little Caesars, but CC's still does that. There's a few places they have the buffet, but
Stevie
somehow,
B's.
yeah, somehow it's not the same. It doesn't. At
Mm-mm.
least to me, it doesn't feel like it's the same thing.
We went to a Stevie B's, and that is they had a little play area in
Hmm.
the back for kids.
Yeah, but I wonder if kids view it the same way now as we did then. You
I
know what I
don't know
mean?
because
I don't
it's
know.
too many other
That's
distractions.
true.
Like we didn't have the distractions. We didn't have cell phones and iPods and stuff like that, or even handheld video games.
Yeah.
So you
Or if you
hadn't.
did, it was that, the one with the two buttons on it,
Yeah,
and it was like this little LED thing that would just shift back and forth.
yeah. So you didn't have all the distractions, and maybe that's what caused a lot of restaurants to move away because it's like, why are we going to put all this time and money into a play area and all of these different gimmicks, and the kids don't want it anyway.
Because it was to draw in the adult customers anyways, because then they were still really targeting adults, because kids, they weren't going to buy a meal. They're
Mhm.
kids. A
Mhm.
little 7-year-old's going to go in there and order a meal. That's
Mhm.
not what was going to happen. But he was going to bug his parents to, oh, come on, let's go to McDonald's. I really want to go there, because it was so, it felt
Yeah.
like a place for a child, and the child wanted that. They wanted that adventure. It was an adventure to go to McDonald's or to Burger King or someplace like that, Burger Chef slash whatever. And that's been taken away. That's been taken away
Well, you still
or
got Chuck E.
lost.
Cheese.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, I used to take the kids to Chuck E. Cheese a lot.
Mhm.
They have they have all of the video games. Everything is token operated, and you're supposed to collect tickets. And you put it in the muncher. There's a thing that eats your tickets up, and it gives you a slip that gives you an inaccurate count of your tickets because it cheats you. I'm just letting you know, guys, it does cheat you. If you count them individually and then run them through that machine, you're going to get less. But
Mhm.
because it gives you that paper slip, and
Mhm.
you turn the slip in to get merchandise. I mean, it's okay,
Mhm.
but it's also a very controlled environment.
Mm.
It doesn't. I don't know if it feels the same to a
What
kid.
do you mean controlled? I mean, you got to have control of the kids. You can't let them run wild.
They do run wild in there, but
Mm.
I, I don't know. I just remember, they got to stamp your hand, and they put the black light over your hand and all that kind of stuff. That's what I mean.
Oh,
But and I guess that's all right. They don't want weirdos coming in there and hanging
yeah,
around, because there's a lot of kids running around.
yeah.
But Chuck E. Cheese, it's okay. It's okay for that. But even that's kind of losing ground, because they've been closing a lot of them. Chuck E. Cheese isn't hanging on like it used to, especially after what's happened the last couple of years here with the whole pandemic thing. That they were closed for a long time. They
Mhm.
couldn't even open, and then when they did, they had to have all these regulations. It
I
took,
think they relaxed them now. We've seen the commercials, the Halloween commercials,
yeah,
where you bring your kids every day in costume and you get something free or whatever.
yeah, but they were hurt pretty good for a long time.
Yeah.
So they had to close locations. They had a hard time.
Mm.
They may not recover. We'll have to see. And guys, chime in on that. Do you think that Chuck E. Cheese counts? Does that give you the same feel? Do you think that your kids, when you take them there, get the same experience that you did when you went to a child-friendly restaurant when you were children? That it's a matter of opinion, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Hmm.
The times have changed and kids aren't like when we were. We went outside and
Yeah.
played with toys and stuff like that. And now you go in the store And it's hardly no toys in that store.
No,
And the stuff that you do see, you like, I wouldn't buy this for my kid, you know.
I
So
think
I don't know. I think that just the times have changed.
yeah, I think the kids nowadays lack a lot of imagination. They don't. They want to be stimulated
Mhm.
constantly. That's a constant stream of stimulation.
Yeah.
That's why I mean we're down to what TikTok videos now, where it's like one flash of a stupid video after another, and that's what they're being trained to accept.
Mhm.
And when they don't have it, they don't know how to function. They don't know how to sit down and just read a book
Mhm.
or run around and play or play cops and robbers with the neighbor kids and run around with sticks and
Mhm.
pretend that they're guns, or whatever you're doing, because you didn't have a toy gun. You just
Yeah.
made do, or swords. We used to strip the leaves off of that one. I can't remember what the name of the tree was, but you snap the thing off and you strip the leaves. It was like a
Mhm.
switch,
Oh, like a weeping willow tree. That was some good switch.
and you could play swords with it or whatever.
Mhm.
Or when there were really cool prizes with the
Did the cereal?
Happy
Oh,
Meal
the
prizes. I'm
Happy
still I'm
Meal.
still on like Happy Meal and whatever they called it for the Burger King Kids Club meal or something like that.
I
And
don't know what the name of
and
the
they
Burger
had
King
kids
meal.
clubs in those restaurants because I was in the Burger King Kids Club and they gave you that.
Everybody had a kids club because even Pizza Hut had a kids club,
Hmm.
and McDonald's and some restaurants did too. You
Yeah,
join the kids club, and on your birthday you get like a coupon
yeah,
or something.
and that's what Burger King did. They send you a calendar,
Mhm.
and in the calendar there was two coupons in the bottom of each month, only good for that month,
Okay.
and that's how that worked. And they had better prizes. You get cool prizes, or they had promotions like Burger King. I have more experience with Burger King than with McDonald's because there was a Burger King within reach when I was a child. McDonald's was too far away under normal circumstances, so I would go to the Burger King a lot. No money, but I would go to the Burger King because they would do the Star Wars promotions a lot.
Mhm.
They gave away the cards. Like I've got a set of the Star Wars cards here. These are the official like Burger King Empire Strikes Back cards, and they came on like a three on a panel, and they were giving them away. You didn't have to buy anything. You
Oh,
just
okay.
walk in, and there was a scratch off card, and the base prize was one of these panels, and they would just hand you one, but you could request a scratch off card for free. So I would go back and forth to the Burger King constantly to to get these when I was a kid. Or they had the Coke Bot, which was an R2D2 unit,
Mhm.
but it was done up like a Coke can, and they would remote control operate it from back in the manager's office or something, and it was a life size. So it would come out and they could talk through it and it would dance and do all sorts of stuff
Oh
as part
wow.
of their Star Wars promotions. And I'd come and I'd watch that. I remember even in the early part of the 90s taking Toby to the McDonald's in Brookline because Ronald was going to be there.
Mm.
Because they used to do that. They had a team of professional Ronalds that would travel the country to go to different McDonald's as promotions to help to encourage that whole child atmosphere.
Mhm.
And it would, they put, hey, Ronald will be here, and then you'd come and they look just like the commercial Ronald. They were professional Ronalds
Okay.
as part of the McDonald's team. I don't even know if they do that anymore.
I
I
think
haven't
they did away
I
with
haven't
Ronald
heard about
McDonald.
that. I haven't heard about that in years.
You don't even see
Yeah.
Ronald McDonald on the commercial. I don't think people know who Ronald McDonald is.
No, they don't advertise the that kind of stuff anymore.
It used to be when you saw McDonald's commercial,
Mm-hmm.
Ronald was in there.
And those even the advertising from that stuff
Mhm.
brings back a flood of memories for a lot of people. Like when I did the Christmas commercial compilation
Mhm.
for this channel, because I put, if you haven't seen anybody watching, I do put up vintage commercial compilations from time to time, and I did a Christmas one last year for the viewers, and there's some McDonald ones in there, including the famous one where he's out skating, the kids are ice skating, and the one kid's afraid, and
Mhm.
a lot of people they'll watch that and like, oh my god, I remember that so well, and it gives them a flood of memories. They weren't promoting the food or anything. They
No.
were promoting the characters. and that was enough to bring people to the restaurant.
Yeah.
But we don't have that anymore. I don't know. And you mentioned Chuck E. Cheese, and I guess that counts because, like
I
I
don't
said, I
know.
used to
I
bring
never been to Chuck E. Cheese.
the kids to it all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and they got the games, and you can get pizza, and there's somebody who walks around in a worn out, sweaty, smelly Chucky suit, sweating his balls off and stinking and inside the suit and high fives kids and stuff.
Hmm.
So I mean, there is sort of a kid friendly atmosphere, and it's probably one of the few places left that does.
Mm-hmm.
But our nostalgia, of course, is when every restaurant kind of had that or felt
Yeah.
that way to some degree.
Yeah.
They wanted your kids to feel very comfortable coming in there. And you could let them do whatever they're going to do and sit there and have your little adult conversation. The kids are playing in the play area or
Mm-hmm.
doing whatever. And all of that seems to have just faded. And like you said, times change, and I think that's a lot of people will argue the 80s was
Mm-hmm.
the last great era.
Mm-hmm.
Who said that? The Doctor of Rock, or what
Professor of
Professor of
Rock.
Rock. Professor of Rock said that. He says, I think that he says, of course, if the 60s and the 70s had its own thing,
Mm-hmm.
I think the 80s was the last great era because as you moved through the 90s, and I kind of agree with what he was saying, as you move through the 90s, and there's more and more electronic stuff invading our culture,
Mm-hmm.
as a distraction, it that becomes the focus of attention instead of other things in life.
Yeah, and that's what I believe happened. Like I said before, when we were kids, we didn't have anything. You didn't
Yeah,
have all the distractions. I mean, you had one TV in your house. You may have two.
yeah, and the screen was
You
probably
know,
like that.
yeah. So everybody didn't have a TV.
Yeah,
Everybody didn't have a computer. We definitely didn't have cell phones and stuff like
yeah,
that. So you had your imagination, and that mean the toy manufacturers had to have an imagination. Um, and now with technology just
yeah.
flooding and invading, you took away all imagination from kids. And they say, "Oh yeah, I can get on and I can create a meme." Yeah, you took a picture that was all that somebody else took,
Took
and you put together
and you
some
wrote on
words.
it.
So, yeah, so you didn't really create
Or video
anything.
games, and I've made that argument before
Uh huh.
that a video game is someone else's imagination. You're just playing through it. You're following
Yeah.
the steps, which is fine. I mean, we grew up in the onset of the video game era,
Mhm.
when video games were home games, anyways, were first starting to come out. The first big one being the Atari 2600. There was a couple before that, but the Atari 2600 is the one that really jumped off, and then the ColecoVision, and then Nintendo NES, and then the Sega Genesis, and so on. But those were cultural phenomenons. Nowadays, the next Xbox or the next PlayStation isn't. It
Yeah.
just doesn't feel the same, and I think it's just something that people come to expect. They spend a lot of money on it. A
Mhm.
year later, it's worthless,
Yeah.
and it's someone else's imagination. No matter how good it looks, or how much fun you have going through the story, it's still someone else's story, and you have to do it their way to finish it.
Hmm.
When we were kids, yeah, we played video games. We played them. I played the Atari a lot
Mhm.
when I first got it, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't live for it. I wasn't going to spend 18 hours a day playing Atari. I wasn't going to go to school with dark circles under my eyes and fall asleep across my desk because I was up until 5 a.m. Playing Halo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, now you got video game addictions, and now they have the championships, and you can win big.
Well, they had that when we were
No,
kids
but I
too, but it
mean they
wasn't like
have
big money.
like
Yeah,
they got ESports now.
yeah.
That's a thing.
The
Before that wasn't nothing.
Yeah, because what we have was the Atari 2600 too. There was a jacket. You get the Atari jacket,
Hmm.
and if you pass a certain level on a game, you took like a Polaroid picture of it, to show your score, and you mail it in, and you would get a patch. Like if you passed, I don't know, 20,000 points on Chopper Command or something, just off the top of my head, because I know there was a Chopper Command one. And they'll mail you a patch, Chopper Command, and you could put it on your Atari jacket to show, hey, you know. And there was like a video game tournament game show for kids, I remember, because it was like teenagers playing it, and you could win a home arcade version of a game, like the kind that you would see in the stores.
Oh, okay.
But nothing major like what they do now.
Yeah.
But you know, again, back to the restaurants. I think that the lack of nostalgic culture or cultural phenomenons now, and the infusion of the technology, and how it's just become a distraction for people, and especially for children, and parents are at fault for this. I'm sorry, parents, you're responsible for this. If every time you don't want to deal with little Johnny, and you hand him a cell phone and say, here, go away, leave me alone,
Yeah.
you're contributing to that. Because these kids can have imagination, they can have critical thinking skills, they can have a desire for learning and for exercising, and for not just their body but their mind, if you participate in it with them.
Yeah.
And you put that in them. And I hope a lot of the people that are watching still do that, and if they don't, they'll think about it. Think about that, because there's nothing that bothers me more. I got a handful of pet peeves. One of them is being in the supermarket and seeing like a 2-year-old in the shopping cart like this on mommy's cell phone, watching God knows what garbage, loud as hell, like
Yeah.
right in his face like this, because mommy doesn't know how to keep him still, even just sitting in the shopping cart for 20 minutes. You know, and it's a generational curse. It is, because their parents might not have done right, and then you don't, and then because you don't, your kid doesn't either, and it gets worse. And then you end up with restaurants that suck, because there's
Oh my God.
see, connections.
I don't know. That's
I'm
a
a-
very
I'm
far
a li-
off
I'm
connection.
a little eccentric, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, guys. You know where I'm coming from. I hope you do. But I just wish I could see that again. I wish that you know, I could have a little kid and say, hey, you know what? Why don't we drop by McDonald's and get some fries, and they could just
No.
have that
I don't even
that
want my kid to
that
go to
that
fast food
that
restaurants.
excitement. Well, you don't go every day. You go like
No.
once a month or something.
Yeah, but the food is not even what it used to be. The
That's
oil
true.
is not the
The
oil.
food's not as good anymore either.
Right.
That's
They got
true.
some kind of fake oil that they say help you lose weight or some kind of mess. You know, just get some Crisco and fry that
Crisco.
yeah, and fry
Oh.
those French fries.
Don't use Crisco.
And something.
Don't listen to her.
We grew up on Crisco and nobody had high cholesterol and clogged up arteries and all kinds of stuff. You just get some regular old canola oil or some Crisco or something like that, some vegetable oil. But now they got this, I can't remember. You remember a couple of years ago, McDonald's said they were changing out the oil.
Yeah.
And then people started complaining about the fries after that.
Yeah, they changed
Yeah.
it. I don't know what they did with it. I know that they did that with Frito-Lay too. They used that Olean. But
And that give you anal leakage.
yeah, ALS. If you eat anything with Olean in it, and it says warning can cause ALS, that's what that means, anal leakage syndrome.
Yeah, all the
'Cause
grease
drip-
come running
yeah,
out
basically
you.
because your body can't digest it.
Oh, that's what
because
you need.
Olean is Vaseline, basically.
You walking around in your pants all greasy in the back.
What's wrong with you?
Told
And
you.
I know
you
that.
didn't get that when you use Crisco.
I know that because I used to work for Frito-Lay, and that's what Olean is. It's literally almost Vaseline, and that's that they are frying the stuff in,
You're
and
supposed
your
to
body,
put Vaseline in your
body,
hair.
your body can't digest it, and that's why it just kind of
Right on out.
slides right through. It's
Crisco
not a
didn't do
popular
that.
product. I don't know. I don't even know if they still use Olean in anything.
No, because too many people was complaining about how the underwear looked.
How did we get on this topic?
Because you always drifting and diving in these little bunny trails.
Oh, it's my fault.
You started
She
it.
just likes to lay down blame. That's all it is. Anyways, again, it's sad to see, to look back and see that sort of thing fading away as we see all of our nostalgic things that we knew from childhood fading away or being taken away or gone altogether. And I dare say that child-friendly restaurants is almost completely gone.
I think restaurants going to be gone soon.
Yeah, they're having a lot of trouble now too. Most restaurants are, except for the fast food chain franchises, but most of the family,
Like TGI Fridays.
yeah, family suggested restaurants or Red Lobster or places like that, most people do not realize they hang by a thread anyways. Even before everything that went down in the last couple of years, they operate on between 2.5% to 5% profit.
Well, now they
You
want you
know,
to order online and get a
and
to
get it
go
delivered.
order, a DoorDash or something.
Yeah, then you turn into the only way that they'll be able to continue to operate from that perspective is to just shut the restaurant part of it down completely and
Like they
operate a
did,
kitchen,
yeah,
like
like
Pizza
they
Hut.
did with Pizza
Yeah,
Hut and
Domino's,
Domino's and all of
because
that.
Domino's used to be able to eat in too,
Yeah, I
and
think
they
Papa
did away with
John's
that.
was too. But now they're all just go in, you
Pick up and
call
get out.
in and
Yeah,
take it out.
but that means the elimination of all that table space and the elimination of wait staff and all of it, because otherwise you can't afford to do that either.
No.
There's a lot to
Well,
consider.
if you are just a kitchen, you don't need a wait staff. All you need is a kitchen staff and a cashier.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
It's a shame watching it now. I know now why. When I was a kid, I used to wonder why old folks were grumpy. Now I know. Now I know because they lost a lot too.
Yeah.
Watched a lot of things fade away or get taken away, and they could see the difference. And we didn't understand when we were young because if you don't know what you're missing, you can't miss it.
Yeah.
Basically, if you don't know what you had, then you don't know what isn't there, and you don't know what it's like if it was. And I wonder what the coming generations are going to look like. It's sad.
Scary.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. But any thoughts? I mean, there's a lot to digest there.
Yeah.
Any thoughts? What do you think, guys? Did you have fond memories of going to restaurants when you were a kid? McDonald's, Burger King, Pizza Hut. It doesn't have to be a fast food place. It could be some other place. International House of Pancakes when it was International House of Pancakes instead of IHOP. Places like that. They used to have a thing where Wednesdays your kid could eat free.
Yeah, Shoney's did too.
I used to bring the boys to IHOP on Wednesday so they could eat my
Yeah.
adult meal and then they could eat for free. They really enjoyed that, little pancakes or whatever they got, because you always want to get the breakfast food. There's something about breakfast food. But anyways, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you got something out of it. We hope that you did. Share it if you can. Subscribe if you're new. All that good stuff. Check out some of the other videos for other discussions, for showcases, for unboxings, for lots of things that we do on this channel, for the nostalgia of old fogies like us, or maybe young fogies, because there are some young people out there that are into the whole
Nostalgia
culture and pop
stuff.
culture
Yeah.
of what once was. So, all that being said, what more can I say but thanks for watching, and we will see you again soon.